I went and saw the Odyssey. I made a whole movie review video on it. Please go check it out. This video is about seeing it on IMAX, and if you have to see it on IMAX in order to have an opinion about the Odyssey. Welcome to the channel if you're new. Normally I'm doing movie reviews for new releases, old movies, just basically anything that I want to watch and review and tell you all about. Today I'm kind of making a slightly different video, not totally off topic, but I wanted to talk about the Odyssey again. Since doing the review, I've talked to more people in person about it. And I haven't changed my thoughts on the film at all. And if you want to hear my thoughts, go check out my previous video about the Odyssey, where I give all my thoughts on the actual film, whether I liked it or not. Spoiler, I didn't really like the film. This specific video is about this weird phenomena that keeps happening around IMAX with this film. So, for those of you who didn't watch this in IMAX, whether you liked it or didn't like it, I'm sure when you were talking to people, you got a common response, which was, but did you go see it in IMAX? And the reason why I wanted to make this video is because specifically in the camp of not liking the film, which was me, I feel like people constantly ask me that as if it's a reason for why I didn't think the film was great. They'll be like, oh, but did you see it in IMAX? And I'll be like, no, I didn't see it in IMAX. Oh, well, you probably didn't like it because it was slightly cropped, because Christopher Nolan shot it in IMAX, so it's intended to be played in IMAX. All of those are true facts. I'm not denying any of that. He shot it in IMAX. When they play it in a regular movie theater, it's cropped. First off, I'm not quite sure why they cropped it, and I'm sure there's all these technical answers, but there are plenty of films that I can go see in the theater, like something like Obsession, that are shot in 4:3 aspect ratio. So not your standard 16:9, and they play in a regular theater and they display it like that. And there's just spaces on the side. They just push the curtains in, or maybe they don't even do that, and they play it in that aspect ratio. So my first thought when just the whole concept of this whole it must be watched in IMAX is, I'm not exactly sure why they made the decision to not just keep the same aspect ratio and just have black bars on the side of the screen when you go see it in a regular movie theater. Seems like a no-brainer to me. Whatever, they made the decision to cut off the top and bottom when you go see it in a regular movie theater. Okay, that's fine. So when I'm going to see it in regular movie theater, I'm not seeing the exact frame that Christopher Nolan intended when he was making this film. I like to respect directors. I like to respect their artistry, but I also like to live in reality. I'm not in the camp of saying like, okay, people should just go watch this on their phones. I do love the idea of people going and watching films either on a TV at home or in a movie theater because it does look better. But all of that just enhances a movie. So if a movie is good, it could maybe be almost great if you go see it in a movie theater versus on a TV at home or on a computer or on your phone. And also, we have to think about your surroundings, right? Like if you're watching something but you're on your phone, or you have people talking as something else is going on, you're watching it on your phone and you're on a bus or in an airplane, obviously those conditions are not perfect. My argument against this whole you have to watch it in IMAX, and if you don't, you can't have an opinion on whether you like it or not. It is so silly of an argument because when I look back on things like when I was a kid growing up in the 90s, I was introduced to Star Wars on VHS on a tiny, crappy TV that was not even the actual aspect ratio that it was supposed to be. It was full screen, it wasn't widescreen, so the sides were cut off. Okay? Same thing with Jurassic Park. The very first time I watched Jurassic Park was on a VHS tape on a crappy TV when I was younger. And both of those movies blew me away and they felt huge. And 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 even like think about Star Wars had come out probably 20 years before I finally watched it, and it still, you know, amazed me and I got obsessed with it. And, you know, all of this, watching it in the worst possible format you could watch something. And that's not just nostalgia. I'm not afraid to admit I don't have a lot of time. So I watched Obsession while I was working out. I was on a treadmill and there's a tiny TV in my garage. And I watched Obsession on that. And that TV is so old and looks so bad. And I was still able to love that movie and appreciate the cinematography in it and the beauty of it and the art. Would it have enhanced it more if I had turned out the lights and put it on the big screen? Sure, absolutely. I'm not denying that. But if it's a great movie, then you can still enjoy the movie without seeing it in its intended aspect ratio. I mean, almost everything we watched growing up in the 90s was full screen because they would format it for television, even though it was technically widescreen, like a 16:9 aspect ratio. So, like, to dismiss my opinion of whether the Odyssey was good or not because I didn't spend the extra money and the time driving to go to an IMAX theater to watch it is just absolutely ridiculous to me. And it kind of puts me off, that is even an argument. Because, in my opinion, at some point, it's like if it has to be watched in IMAX to be enjoyed, I'm sorry, it's not a great movie. It is not a great movie. It maybe can be a good movie. And I am not saying all this to discount all the hard work that went into this movie, to discount Christopher Nolan. I mean, I appreciate that he shoots on film. I appreciate that he uses practical effects. That is awesome. We need more people like that in the Hollywood system or whatever film industry, whatever we want to call it. We need people like that. I mean, my probably top 3 or 4 directors is Paul Thomas Anderson and Quentin Tarantino, and they both shoot on film. So I really appreciate that. It it's Nolan is still not my favorite, and I think he's made better movies than The Odyssey, and I've had some people that have agreed with me on that. Again, I'm not arguing whether The Odyssey is good or not. My opinion was I didn't like it. But what I'm arguing is that you do not need to see this in IMAX to have an opinion about it, to decide if it's good or not. If it's good, then I can watch it on my TV at home in the wrong aspect ratio and still enjoy it. I mean, I still went to a movie theater. Like it wasn't like I watched this on my phone and said, "Oh, it doesn't look big," and I went to a movie theater, okay? I think it's a little obnoxious to expect people to travel. Not everyone lives near an IMAX theater, to travel to a special IMAX theater just to watch it projected in whatever it is, 70 millimeter. Like, I saw Interstellar on an IMAX and 70 millimeter. Didn't make me like it anymore. I do think Interstellar is a better movie than the Odyssey. I still don't love it, but like, I think it is better. Now, and I have watched that on TVs. Like, I have watched it multiple times, not just on IMAX. But like not everybody lives near an IMAX. Not everybody can afford to get IMAX tickets. Not everybody has time to go see a movie in the theater, let alone an IMAX experience. So like, I don't know, it's just kind of like I think give people a break. Like if you went and saw it in IMAX, cool. That's cool. Go for it. I'm not against that at all. But what I'm against is that it seems like there are a lot of people that are kind of poo pooing me, at least, probably other people, for having a negative opinion about the Odyssey and having not seen it on IMAX. And I just can't get behind that. I think it's kind of ridiculous. Like let people have an opinion, and it's okay if it's not the same as yours. And don't put it down because they didn't watch it in some special format. Like most of the movies that I think are great, I never even got a chance to see in a movie theater at all. So, like, again, if it's a great movie, it does not need to be seen in an IMAX. If you didn't see the Odyssey on IMAX, that's okay. Even if you liked it and didn't get to see it on IMAX, that's okay. And I think everyone that is putting other people down because they didn't see it on IMAX for whatever the reason are, or who are saying that their opinions aren't valid, it's just not true. People can have opinions even if they watch something on their phone. I mean, this is just art, this is movies. You know, everybody has an opinion, and that's the way I feel about it. Hopefully, this video connects with some people who have had similar circumstances, maybe even stuff outside of the Odyssey where just people are like, did you see it in the theater? You know, that probably happens a lot with Marvel stuff, like with Endgame or something. Oh, I didn't like Endgame. Did you see it in the movie theater? No, I didn't see it in the movie theater. Then you don't know if you like it or not. Like, this kind of conversation happens all the time. It's not just with the Odyssey. I've just noticed it a lot around the Odyssey and watching it on IMAX. So, yeah, that's why I made this video. Um, okay, I'm done ranting, done rambling. If you stayed and watched this whole video, thank you so much. If you had experiences like this, let me know in the comments. If you disagree with me, then let me know in the comments. Like, you know, I've given my side of it. I I like the idea of appreciating films and being able to see them in the right format. I think that's awesome. I'm not downing that at all if people want to go to an IMAX and watch certain movies on the big screen in their intended aspect ratio that the director wanted. I think that is great. Just don't, just I ask, please don't make, I guess this is what I'm saying. Please don't belittle other people's thoughts of the movie just because they didn't go to see it on IMAX for whatever reason they didn't. Okay. Well, that's all I've got to say about that. Um, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, subscribe. I'm trying to build this channel out, and I appreciate every subscription that I get. I appreciate every view. And thanks for stopping by, and I will see you on the next one.